Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, we got the Terence Crawford, Molina Jr. fight coming up next weekend. It's actually less than a week from when I'm making this video. It's 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. It's currently Sunday, December 4th. So with that being said, this is a fight that I'm not really looking that forward to. Not because it's a bad fight, but it is a bad fight in my opinion, because I think Terence Crawford is just way too skilled for Molina. But I'm making this video not from the Terence Crawford perspective, but from the Molina perspective. Now, when we look at Molina's career, we look at like what he's been able to do. You gotta give him a lot of credit, because he's one of those guys in boxing who has been written off many times, who has been the underdog, who has beaten many guys that the powers that be in boxing had lots of plans for. Guys such as Mickey Bay, guys such as Ruslan Bravanikov. He also scored a very big win against Hank Lundy. So you got to give him his credit. He's got a solid resume. But when it comes to winning like his real big fights, the Matisse fight and the Broner fight, he failed in both those fights. Now the Matisse fight, I can't say he failed miserably, because that was a fight of the year and he fought very well in that. But in the Broner fight, he fought piss poor. And this is his chance, fighting a guy in Crawford who I consider, and many consider, a top 5 fighter in boxing. And this is his chance to really put that stamp on his career and really carve out a nice legacy for himself. With a signature win over Terence Crawford on the road. And we obviously know that Molina Jr., in order to get this victory, he's not going to get it on the cards. He needs to knock out Terence Crawford, and he's very capable of that, because look, I know he's been talking a lot recently about his boxing skill or whatever. Forget all that. Anybody who boxes against Ruslan Bravanikov, if they're not boxers, they wind up looking better than they really are boxing-wise against him, because that's the style matchup. But he's not a boxer. Especially, he's not going to outbox Terence Crawford. So with that being said, all I'm asking for Molina for this fight is I want to see a guy who isn't gun-shy, who isn't afraid to get in there and go for the gusto and get this knockout. Because, look, when I look at the Broner fight, I watched that fight very disappointed, because Adrien Broner looked a lot better than he should have looked that night against Molina. Now, Broner, in my opinion, that fight was tailor-made for him. But with that being said, Molina still should have went for the gusto and try to really, he just wasn't letting his hands go. And on this fight for Crawford, I want to see him really let his hands go. Bring the fight to Crawford. I don't want to see Crawford bring the fight to Molina. Molina needs to bring the fight to Crawford. So, I don't really have a high expectation for this fight. In my opinion, I think we're going to get maybe a couple competitive rounds, but I really see it as a showcase fight for Terence Crawford. Terence should go in there and dominate Molina. I don't think he has a chance of winning. I just think Crawford's too skilled, too much of a boxer, too much of a brawler, just better than Molina across the board. The only way Terence Crawford does not win that fight is if he doesn't come prepared. Or if Molina comes on December 10th and he comes with the mindset of, okay, I'm fighting one of the best fighters in the world, I got to go in there and I gotta go for the gusto and get this guy out of there. So we'll see, man. Molina's a big guy for 140, and he's looking for that signature win in his career. So I'm really rooting for him. I love when the underdogs win in boxing. It seldom happens, but when it does, man, it's great. So hopefully for Molina, he comes into this fight and we don't get the same guy who was complaining in this post-fight interview about, his guy not training with him. Because Crawford, as good as Terence Crawford is, as skilled as he is, he's not Tevin Farmer, he's not Pernell Whitaker, he's not Lomachenko. He's there to be hit. You can't hit Terence Crawford. And if Molina can hit Terence Crawford flush with one right-hand punch, could change the whole fight, could change the landscape of boxing, change the course of history. So all it takes is one punch at the right time, and it can change the course of boxing history. And I want Molina to realize that, and I just hope that he's going in there with that mentality. I've heard him say that in interviews with the fight guys, but I want to see Molina go in there with that mentality to try to get Terence Crawford out of there. That's the kind of mentality he needs in this fight. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Molina from the Adrien Broner fight is the one who shows up, the guy who was gun-shy, who didn't rise to the occasion, or do we see a guy who understands that he's fighting one of the best fighters in the world and that he needs a knockout to win this fight? Let me know what you guys think about how Molina comes to this fight, how he performs. Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me Or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.